So this is a how do I describe it? This came out on its own. Like it's not coming out as a counter to anything else. It came out on its own because Andrew Cuomo is under a lot of fire, understandably, for being hailed as a superhero amongst liberals. And so let's hear what his apology was really quickly, and we'll move from there.
I want to address the recent allegations that have been made against me. As you probably know, the Attorney General is doing an independent review, and I will fully cooperate with that review. Now, the lawyers say I shouldn't say anything when you have a pending review until that review is over. I understand that. I'm a lawyer too. But I want New Yorkers to hear from me directly on this. First, I fully support a woman's right to come forward. And I think it should be encouraged in every way. I now understand.
What is this motherfucker trying to run out the clock, dude? He said every. Like, he's trying to run out the clock so hard. He's pronouncing every fucking vowel.
That I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable.
Every syllable.
It was unintentional, and I truly and deeply apologize for it. I feel awful about it, and frankly, I am embarrassed by it, and that's not easy to say, but that's the truth. But this is what I want you to know, and I want you to know this from me directly. I never touched anyone inappropriately. I never touched anyone inappropriately. I never knew at the time that I was making anyone feel uncomfortable. I never knew at the time I was making anyone feel uncomfortable.
Bro. No. It's not that he didn't. I mean, he didn't legitimately know, probably because he didn't fucking care. Okay, that's it. Like that's the reality. Okay, it's that he didn't fucking know because he didn't care enough, and he thought that this is like totally acceptable to do as a dude in a position of power who hasn't been told no in a very long fucking time. Do you understand? That's it. That's straight up the actual reason. He needed to be told no. Now, where's the spanking? What? A man who's never had to deal with accountability? Yeah, it pretty much. A lawyer knows the ignorance is not an excuse.
And I certainly never, ever meant to offend anyone or hurt anyone or cause anyone any pain. That is the last thing I would ever want to do. I ask the people of this state to wait for the facts from the Attorney General's report before forming an opinion.
I mean, here's the other thing, though. Like, you don't know what the fuck, like, what is he supposed to say in this situation? Like, he's caught in fucking 4K. There's multiple accusers. It fits the profile of someone who is a repeat offender of, like, of harassment in the workplace, even sexual harassment, for sure. He's from the old school where, like, they think that this was acceptable, you know, the Mad Men era. He's done significantly worse things, not, like, minimizing sexual harassment in the workplace, but, like, he's a gigantic piece of shit in the political side of things beyond the sexual harassment in the workplace. So he's just biding his time until, you know, the investigation comes out. There will be a lot of political pressure on Letitia James to do the right thing over here, right? And we'll see what the investigations conclude. Ultimately, like, this isn't, he's not like fucking, there are people who think like, oh, this is he's raping someone or whatever. No, he didn't do that. As far as we know, he has not done that. But sexual harassment in the workplace is a genuine problem that overwhelmingly impacts women in a lot of situations, and it often gets unheard. So having stories like this come out about people in positions of power and some sort of punishment given to them will make it so that people know not to behave that way. That's it. Sorry if you're giving your thoughts. What do you think of Letitia James? I like her a lot. I've been saying this for a while. Doesn't your political stance on him affect the way you treat the situation, though? Seems kind of non-objective. You mean biased? My stance on Cuomo is that he should fucking resign and never do politics ever again. Overall, like it is. I was shitting on him when liberals would come into my chat and talk about how much they love him. I've been shitting on him for fucking years, but especially more so in the beginning of COVID when I was talking about how his austerity measures are the literal reason as to why his austerity measures are implemented in New York are the literal reason as to why like so many impoverished or underserved communities and their hospitals that rely on Medicare spending or Medicaid spending, were in the situation that they were in and were completely fucking understaffed and could not take care of the increase in could not take care of the people that demanded an increase in ICU capabilities. You've been shitting on him since the Cuomo sexual thing? Yeah, I've been shitting on him for a long time. In Kermit's voice, if women don't want to be harassed, they shouldn't just wear makeup, and wear makeup makes them more attractive. Yeah. Like, part of me does legitimately believe, despite the fact that I fucking do not like Andrew Cuomo at all, part of me does legitimately believe that he like doesn't recognize that what he did was wrong. Okay? That doesn't mean what he did wasn't wrong. It was still fucking wrong.
Hey, Ajahn, thank you for helping my brain.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I unironically, straight up believe that Cuomo does not think he did anything wrong up until this moment. And he's like, why are people getting mad at me? I don't fucking get it. Like, I'm just fucking, I'm just fucking being over the top and pushy and, making fucking jokes. I disagree. I think you can tell if someone's uncomfortable. Yeah, but if you're a fucking gigantic narcissistic piece of shit, you don't recognize it because you don't care for other people. And he is an asshole across the board. He's definitely an asshole to men, and he's definitely an asshole to women as well. And he just probably thought that he was being, classic. He's being funny. I'm being funny by saying, hey, when are you going to get fucking married? Oh, you want to play fucking strip poker? That sort of thing. Like, do you get what I'm saying? He fucking cut funding to Medicare and public hospitals during the height of the pandemic. Yeah, exactly. Elmhurst Hospital, literally 10 blocks away from me. Yep. Like, I forget how old this motherfucker is, but like, in Cuomo's era, he probably thinks he's fucking woke. You know what I mean? Like, he probably thinks he's fucking woke in comparison. Like, what do you mean? I'm not slapping asses over here, so what the fuck is the problem? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I used to get mad at the guys who slap fucking asses. I'm just, saying, all right, come on, sugar tits. Want to give me a little sucky or something like that. He's just lighthearted. Like, that's his fucking POV. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's up, dumbass? I thought I subbed way longer.
Anyway. Yeah, the classic, like, why don't you smile more, sweet tits, that sort of thing. Like, that That's just like him thinking it's you know, classy, lighthearted humor. So it's not something you should be able to get away with. It's not something you should do at all. And this doesn't mean that like oh my God, we are limiting interpersonal relationships between men and women. What the fuck? Liberals just want to live in a really weird world. Like, dude, you would never, okay? If you're a dude, you probably will not experience this. As a dude who does experience it, I will tell you, you don't want to fucking live in that world, okay? You don't. You just don't want to. You might think like, oh, any interaction with the opposite sex right now would be so fucking poggers from where you're standing. I promise you, it's not great. It's not good. You don't want to be fucking sexual. Here, evidenced by the fact that people are throwing Haas mods in the chat right now. Stop. I'm trying to have a normal and fucking serious conversation about this. You don't want to be sexualized all the fucking time. You want to be taken seriously. It's idiotic. It's horrible. Yes, it's not like you know, slapping someone's fucking ass or violating their bodily autonomy, but you're still robbing them of their personhood in a way and not taking them seriously, and that's completely inappropriate, especially in the workplace, especially when there's a coercive element there when you have a job over them. You get it? It is limiting those interpersonal relationships because as it stands right now, it's unfair and puts one party at risk. Limits and boundaries are a good thing here. Exactly. Remember how I talked about bottom of the barrel roleplay in the past? I'm going to use a roleplay terminology here, or like roleplay concept here for you to understand. So remember when I was talking about like the worst kind of roleplay that you can do is if every time you see a woman, you're like, booba, okay? Oh, you're a woman. Hey, want to have sex with me, woman? Let's have sexual intercourse, woman. Right? It's the worst kind of roleplay because, like, you are literally appealing to the bottom of the barrel. It's not even good at all, right? It's really fucking stupid. The other person is usually very uncomfortable, but even from a roleplay point of view, and not like misogyny or anything like that, not like fucking harassment or anything like that, you are limiting the other person's opportunities to be able to create a narrative with you, to create a story with you, by limiting them exclusively to a sexual object, an object of desire. And the same thing stands here. If your entire experience is well, not even your entire experience, but when you sexualize someone in the workplace that you work over, you are basically limiting your interactions with that person and their opportunities to objectification and whatever your own personal sexual desires are out of that person, even if you do not give a fuck about like fucking this person or not, because the other person will not know. There's also the coercive element is definitely there because there is the fear of retaliation that people who are being subject to your idiotic takes are worried that if they come out and say something or even mention that they're fucking uncomfortable, the boss may retaliate. Even if the boss doesn't retaliate, they might no longer like you as much. They might no longer want to think about you when the time comes for a promotional opportunity. So all of those fears come into play, and it makes it really, really awful. So, so basically, it's not good. It's not good across the board. It's not like the worst thing Andrew Cuomo could have done, obviously, far from it. But it's still unacceptable, especially in a position of power like this, right? And a lot of people do not understand the consequences of behaving this way. And part of the reason why people do not understand the consequences of behaving this way is because there's very little accountability, and there are people who immediately rush and jump to saying, "Oh, what are you doing? He's just fucking being a guy. He's being a guy."
Hi Hasan, I am big fan. I love
Get
your content.
the facts, please, before forming an opinion. And the Attorney General is doing that review. I will fully cooperate with it, and then you will have the facts. And make a decision when you know the facts. I also want you to know that I have learned from what has been an incredibly difficult situation for me as well as other people. And I've learned an important lesson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever pain I caused anyone. I never intended it. And I will be the better for this experience. Thank you.
Oh God, it's so loud every time. Being a redheaded female navigating in public cities usually comes with some kind of gross or unwarranted comment. It took me years to clap back. I didn't want to be labeled a bitch or people think I can take a joke. It takes a lot of personal programming. Oh, here's the other thing. If you're purely selfish, okay, if you're a guy, you only want to, and you're the kind of guy who only thinks with their fucking dick, and you have no respect for your fellow men or women, right? And you want to think about this from a purely selfish point of view, and I give this argument to gamers all the fucking time. If you behave that way around women, then they fucking put their shields up, okay? And they expect every conversation to go down in that same way. So it is yet another instance where misogyny or sexual harassment ends up hurting men in that way, where it's, of course, nowhere near as significant as the harm you're doing to other people. But having said that, it literally ends up fucking you over. It makes the complicated gray area that you need to navigate within interpersonal relationships and communicating with women way more difficult, because they constantly have their fucking shields up, because they're constantly fucking worried that you are going to be yet another fucking asshole. You see what I'm saying? You get it? Anyway, or they tell you to go fuck yourself and you want to hit them. What? You just expect it until it doesn't happen. Lol. Do you think that he came out with his press conference to distract the media from the nursing home deaths? No. I think this is coming as a additional pile on top of the nursing home deaths, which should require a separate investigation on top of everything else.